Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to go over how we generated over $420,000 in pipeline for a business lending client in just 42 days using nothing but automated cold email. All right, so let's jump right into things. Now, for starters, I want to go over the details because I don't just expect you guys to believe me out of thin air. Now, for starters, the client that we're going to be doing this case study about provides flexible commercial real estate financing solutions. They help investors and developers secure funding for acquisitions, renovations, constructions, and refinancing. And they offer both short-term and long-term loan options for properties like multifamily, retail, industrial, and hospitality. Okay, so they do offer a pretty wide variety of loans. We are primarily focusing on their commercial segment, so the majority of the things I'll talk about in this video will be on the commercial side of things, but they do offer a wide variety of different financial products. Okay, now the offer is our client offers commercial real estate loans with up to a 90% loan to cost ratio, which makes it really easy for these investors to fund acquisitions, renovations, and development projects with minimal upfront capital required. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how these financial products work, in essence, the higher this number, the lower that you have to invest yourself, which obviously means it's a good thing. So, you want these numbers to be as high as possible. He's really a broker, not a lender. Our broker has really good relationships with lenders, and that's why he has such a good loan to cost ratio. Okay. Now, our angle is that the majority of investors have to actively search for these high LTC offers. And as a 90% LTC offer is rare in lending space, it's kind of a pattern interrupt when we have a client who not only doesn't make you look for him, but he comes to you through a medium like cold email, which is very, very unconventional in the financial services world. And overall, it just gives you a unique perspective. Okay, that's what the angle is, in my opinion. It's obviously the number one utility, which is the 90% LTC, but it's also because it's coming through cold email. Okay, now here is the proof. Now, MCC, I'm not gonna show the full company's name, but that's the acronym. You can see these are a couple of the campaigns that we've ran. You can see the reply rates right here and the interested rates right here. It's a little cut off, unfortunately, but you guys can see the numbers perfectly fine. Right here is a screenshot from our internal Airtable, 42 booked calls in this system, right? And you can see these are the companies that are booking. You can see just based on the company names, like zoned properties, address-developments.com. These are actual property developers that are interested in potentially funding another project. Okay. Now, here's a picture from our Slack. Obviously, I had to blur a lot of these things out because I don't want to, leak any of the client's privacy. But point is, you can see 75 messages with the word booked in them. You can see a lot of them are notifications. You can see that this stuff really did happen. Okay, that's my point. Now, moving on, let's talk about the campaign thesis. Now, this is going to be the most valuable part of this presentation, hands down. Okay. Now, since we are still actively working with this client, I'm not necessarily going to show you the actual campaigns that we're running, including the scripts and the offers and, how we set everything up, because I would just be creating unnecessary competition. I'm also assuming the majority of you guys watching probably own a lending company, and, a lot of you probably do something similar to my clients. So it'd be very unwise for me to just give away the secrets, right? But I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to explain to you how we came up with this offer, and using that information, you can go make your own offers where you're not copying anybody, and you can do that forever, and you never have to worry about leads again, okay? Now, first and foremost, we need to understand the audience. Now, one of the best performing segments for this client was a campaign targeting property development companies. Now, while our client's offer can apply to a wide variety of businesses, including investors and real estate firms, construction companies, there are certain segments where that 90% LTC offer is especially valuable, right? So, for example, we can take property managers, and unlike individual investors who only do maybe 1 or 2 deals a year, right? These companies do a lot more deals. They're looking for much higher loans. Obviously, there's repeat business, and it just makes everything a lot more lucrative for everybody because it's higher commissions, it's recurring commissions, right? Overall, just makes everything so much easier, okay? Now, this is a clear case of just the right offer meeting the right audience. We could have gone after just real estate investors or construction companies or whatever. But again, we tested things out. We found that property development companies were performing the best, and that's who we targeted. Okay. Additionally, we got to talk about intent signals. Now, this client specializes in commercial real estate. Yes, they offer for multifamily, single family, whatever, but they specialize in commercial because that's the most expensive type of property, and bigger commissions, whatever. That's how it plays out. Now, as you'd expect, commercial projects are significantly more high ticket and lucrative for everyone involved. Now, imagine if we could know exactly when a property development company was ready to start specifically a commercial project, right? Now, our client pinpointed a pattern, which he's seen repeatedly, and that's that once developers have 20 to 30 single families in their profile, they start thinking about their next step, and a lot of the time that next step is transitioning into commercial real estate, or at least dabbling in commercial real estate, okay? Now, we built a system using clay.com, which estimates how many properties a developer has under management. And once they cross that 20 to 30 threshold, that's when we know that it's time to contact them and offer them a 90% LTC loan, okay? Now, I'm not going to reveal the exact mechanics and how we set this up because, again, we are still using this strategy. And as I'm sure you wouldn't want me sharing your lead gen strategies. I'm not going to be sharing our clients' lead gen strategies. But the real takeaway here is you want to identify behavioral patterns and intent signals that a lot of your current clients are doing and having. And if you can identify that, you can just target people based on that, okay? And that could be very, very strong, okay? Now, the next thing is simple volume. This is one of those things that's overlooked in situations like this. Even with a strong offer, volume is still going to be key to making this whole thing work. Not every property development company is starting a project right now, and the ones that are starting them aren't all commercial. So you can imagine you need to talk to a lot of people before you find someone who's actually qualified. And that's why consistent outreach at scale is essential, okay? Now, you need to contact a large number of companies to catch the few who just happen to be in the market right now. And keep in mind, it's not that they just have to be in the market. They have to be in the market when you contact them specifically, okay? Now, what we've also done is we've also re-engaged a large portion of our total addressable market multiple times, which has led to previously unresponsive leads turning into potential clients, okay? Because again, a lot of people don't like the idea of contacting people they've already contacted. But again, you guys have to realize whether it's you contacting them or whether it's one of your competitors, it's the same thing, right? Everyone is contacting the same property development companies. Everyone is contacting the same types of people, okay? It's not going to hurt your reputation. It's not going to hurt your brand image. You're just doing sales. If anything, they'll respect you more for being proficient in your sales and your follow-up and being in front of them, okay? Now, that kind of follow-up and reach is only possible with a well-built, high-volume cold email system. Okay, that's just going to be the raw reality of things. If you want to do this, you're going to have to send a lot of emails. And the last but not least is the fact that this is in financial services. Now, again, cold email doesn't only work in financial services, but overall, it is a very, very good industry to do cold email in, right? And again, after all, these people are basically in the business of selling money, right? In terms of having a good offer and, it being realistic, this is as good of an offer as you're going to realistically get, okay? Now, of course, it is more complex than that. It's not like you're really selling money like it is a loan. You have to pay back. There's interest, whatever. But again, some of our best clients have come from this space. And again, it makes sense. We're targeting more financial service companies because of that. And, more financial service companies are starting to realize they need to be using modern marketing methods. Okay. Now, if you sell any kind of financial product, whether you do, lending or anything else aside from lending, I would definitely consider looking into cold email just because, again, it does seem very, very interesting, especially because you can contact very specific people, okay? Now, I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, how can I set this up? Now, if you're interested in setting this up, what I would do is I would take a look at these two resources. This video is a video of me comparing the best outreach services or the best ways to get clients using cold traffic and going over which one's the best one, okay? Now, again, like I mentioned in the start of the thing, cold email is not going to be the best for everyone. So if you're not a lending company, then I'd recommend watching this video just to see if cold email is actually right for you, okay? Now, if it is right for you, then I do have a course right here. It's roughly 2 hours. It's going to get you fundamentally aware of how this all works, okay? You are going to have to do a little bit of research. You're going to have to put in a little bit of grunt work, but if you want to set something up like this, it's not going to be easy, right? It is a cold email system, okay? Now, If you don't mind spending a little bit of money, this is where it gets interesting. You can join Lead Academy. Lead Academy is my coaching program. It's $200 a month, and it comes with a huge course on how to set this all up, and you're going to be able to skip the guesswork and just get right into it, right? Now, again, you can figure it out using the free content. I'm not saying you have to buy the course, but if you wanted to, you could get into the course, 48-hour free trial. It's $200 a month after that. Ton of content in there, live support. So that could be an easier and quicker way to get that done, okay? Now, that is about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, I wish I could just share everything. I could show you guys the full system, but I do have to respect my client's privacy. I don't want to just generate a bunch of competition for him. So, I want to share the thesis with you guys so you can go and you can implement something similar, but I can't share the exact, meat on the bone information, okay? But before we do go, I do want to mention that if you don't want to deal with this all and you want a system like this set up for you, then you can go ahead and book a call with us. I'm going to have that booking call link in the description below, as well as in this document, which will also be in the description below. So if you are a business making over $500K a year, you do sell B2B, you don't do anything related to OnlyFans or adult content, because we don't help people who do that, and you're okay with having a retainer payment, and you're not looking for like pay-per-call or performance, anything like that, then please go ahead, book a call with us. Worst case scenario, we'll give you some free advice on how you can just do whatever you're doing but better. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.